Hey, what's going on, family? Welcome to a new video. In today's video, I want to talk about, 10 myths about entrepreneurship. Y'all all know I recently quit my 9 to 5. It's probably been, almost 4 months now. And there were a lot of things that I used to think because of what I've been told or seen online by other entrepreneurs. And now I can talk from experience, you know what I mean? So make sure y'all tap in, make sure y'all like, make sure y'all subscribe. Let's get right to it. So myth number one is that entrepreneurs or entrepreneurship, they are huge risk takers, which can't be further from the truth. The biggest risk about entrepreneurship is actually quitting your 9 to 5, in my opinion. After that, you are so calculated and you do everything in your power to minimize risk because, again, we are 100% dependent on our own income. So the last thing we want to do is lose money on investment by taking a crazy risk that we just gamble with, you know what I mean? So that's the farthest from the truth. I know for me, I'm super calculated. Now, don't get me wrong, I will take a risk. And I think when people hear risk, I believe it's from a point of view of the financial risk. So let's say if I gotta put down $100,000 to flip a property, right? That might look from the outside as a big risk. But if you analyze that property and that deal correctly and you take in consideration, everything, all the repairs and everything, you just do your numbers right, you are minimizing your risk. So yeah, putting down 100,000 is a lot from a lot of people, but at the end of the day, that's not a big risk if you really know what you're doing. So nope, I'm not the biggest risk taker. I am a risk taker, but I'm super calculated. Myth number two, we don't got a personal life. Super false. If anybody know me, you know that my day probably stops at 3, 4, 5 p.m. and for the rest of the day, I'm with my wife or my daughter. I spend time with my friends. I spend time with my family. Now, you do have some entrepreneurs, they live their business, which that's not the reason I got into entrepreneurship. I'm not living my business 24/7. Now, don't get me wrong. There are some days where I gotta work longer hours. It don't happen too frequently, honestly. I plan the night before, the week before, almost every day, every week. So my personal work life is great in my opinion. I go to gym every day. I do all the things that I want to do. I don't consume myself with work. But again, if you're on the outside looking in, it can look like, a lot of entrepreneurs will tell you that they don't have no personal life. They live this and all this stuff. Well, whatever, that's a myth. I'm telling you firsthand, it's not true. Myth number 3 is entrepreneurs don't give up. Entrepreneurs don't quit. False. Listen to me. It's been a lot of endeavors that I've encountered even before I was full-time in entrepreneurship where you gotta know when to throw the towel in. If you consistently losing, let's say, money every single month on a particular investment property, it might be time to go ahead and sell that property because it's not going to work out for you. I guess you could call that giving up or whatever the case may be. I'm not about to sit there and kill myself if something is not working. It don't have to be real estate, but anything in particular. But I know many entrepreneurs, like being in it, they lose and they quit a lot more than you will see on camera, on their social media. They just don't talk about it, but entrepreneurs quit. I'm not saying you're gonna quit on entrepreneurship, but there's a lot of businesses, a lot of different endeavors where they do stop and give up on. And also, at the end of the day, I do know a lot of entrepreneurs who, they stepped out of their job to do this full time and they had to go back and get a job, right? Would you call that quitting or simply, just making the right move for your life? So I'm not big into, entrepreneurs don't quit. They finish the job and this, that, and the third. I highly doubt it, man. You got to stop the bleeding at some point, especially it got a lot of money involved. So absolutely false. Entrepreneurs do quit. Myth number 4, entrepreneurs have total freedom. False again. The thing is, man, I do think that I had more freedom when I just had a 9 to 5 and was only focused on 9 to 5. Entrepreneurship is 7 days a week. It's 24/7, y'all. It's nonstop. When things go wrong, rather that's midnight, rather that's 5 a.m. in the morning, that's your business, right? This is what you live by. So you really don't never have freedom. You really don't. The idea of you could be sitting on the beach all day, every day, is completely false. So if you get into entrepreneurship because you think that's what your life is going to look like, don't get into it because that's completely false. It do give you a sense of freedom, and I think what they're talking about when you hear this is that you don't have nobody telling you what to do and when to do it with all these deadlines. Because ultimately you are responsible for all of these things. You are your own boss. You hold yourself accountable. You create your own pressure for yourself. So in that sense, yeah, you do have freedom. But as far as just, waking up, doing what the hell you want every day, your business won't last long. So no, you don't got the total ultimate freedom. Absolutely not. Myth number 5, you got to give up partying and clubbing and drinking and all that stuff. Now, those things are probably not the best habits to have, but you don't have to give it up. Honestly, y'all all know how I love my cognac, right? I drink maybe, 3 times a week. You know what I mean? Not to get drunk, but it doesn't affect anything. It really don't. You are who you are. I don't have to give up what I like to do in order for me to perform at a high level. Some people might have to do that. I don't let those type of things take over my life. Now, I'm not a big partier, but if I wanted to, I'm sure I can go to a lounge every single weekend and I'll still do great in business. You want to watch out for those things. You're not trying to consume yourself with partying and clubbing and drinking and smoking all the time. But I know high level entrepreneurs who smoke every single day, y'all, and they make tens of millions of dollars. So that's a complete myth. It's just how you allow those things to control your life and how it affects your business. But yeah, man, I honestly, y'all, some of your biggest, richest entrepreneurs in this world, I'm pretty sure a lot of them probably do drugs. Super myth, y'all, big myth. Myth number 6, you gotta wake up super early. You gotta wake up at 4 a.m. No, you don't. No, you don't. I know that's what they tell y'all. You wanna get up before everybody, this, that, and the third. And that's fine. Again, that's a great habit to have. You know what I mean? You wanna get your day started early. But there are days where I might not wake up till 8, 9 a.m. And it don't affect anything I got going on and me performing at a high level. Don't fall into that, y'all. I mean, if you are naturally, more so a night person, but not a morning person, get your sleep, man. Go ahead, get your sleep. Just know that when you are awake, those hours, make those hours count. It don't matter if they at nighttime, in the afternoon, or the morning, it don't matter. That's the whole beauty of it. You can create your own schedule as an entrepreneur or a business owner. Don't think you gotta wake up 3, 4, 5 a.m. Completely false. Myth number 7, you need a lot of capital to start a business. In the times we live in now, y'all, honestly, you can start a business so easily. Rather that's real estate, rather all these different things out here. This not back in the day where you got to go get a business loan and create a whole business plan. Those things are great, and of course, having money can help, but you don't really have to have nothing. I mean, I would go to say, most of the entrepreneurs I know today literally started with under like $500 to their name, and now they make millions. So don't think that you gotta have capital. You use what you got and start where you are and just go get it, and just have that dog and that grind in you to go get it. So that is false. You do not need a lot of capital, a lot of money to start a business. Myth number 8, you will get rich super fast. Again, no, it's not the truth. It's not the truth, y'all. This is the thing. Now, I will say this. Again, this is not back in the day where starting a business back in the day. And when I say back in the day, like 80s, 90s, stuff like that, probably could take you, to make $1 million, to profit $1 million in your business, man, it really could take 10 years. But the times we live in now, you can get a lot of money fairly quickly. When I say fairly quick, I'm talking about, 2 to 3 years. If you on your grind and you put your head down, you put that work in, you really can get rich quick in that aspect. But don't get into it thinking that you're gonna get rich, in 30, 60, 90 days. Again, it's still relatively fast, but not as fast as you may think. And it do require a lot of work. And again, like, you really gotta be locked in. And I always say this, man, if you could dedicate 12 to, let's say, 36 months of really just pure working, depending on the business, you probably can get rich, y'all. You probably can get rich, but it is a myth that you're gonna get rich, probably that first year you start. It's probably not going to happen. So that's a lie as well. Myth number 9 is you need to hire a lot of people or you need a big team. You don't, y'all. Again, I know I keep saying this, but the times we live in, man, you could run $1 million business literally with yourself and maybe one other person. Just depending on what the business is. I know in wholesaling real estate, for the longest time, it was just me and one other person. And we was doing relatively, over 6 figures for multiple years, but I didn't start reaching, high 6, close to 7 figures That's when I only board on. I had what, 3 people, so that's still a small team. Me, and then and most of them were virtual assistants. So myself and 3 virtual assistants, and you able to do close to $1 million. So you don't need a big team. You don't have to go hire this full-time CEO that you got to put them on a crazy salary. It's a different playing field we live on now, man. We got access to all these different resources and websites like Fiverr, where you can go hire 1099 contractors to do different things for you. And man, you could do it. You can run it up literally with under a 5-man team, even lower than that. It just depends on what the business is. So complete myth. You can run up, 300,000 literally by yourself. So don't believe the hype, man. All right, y'all, myth number 10, follow your passions. And let's talk about this for a second, because I think online, social media, you hear a lot of people preaching, follow your passion, follow your passion. You wanna start a business, follow your passion. And to be all the way honest with y'all, most of us don't even know what our passions are. Most of us die without knowing our passions. And I can't even sit here and 100% say that real estate is my passion. I just been doing it for so long, I became great at it. So now I make a living doing it and teaching it as well. I'm not about to sit here and say, find out what your passion is, right? I always say, follow your efforts. So my efforts for the past decade plus has been doing real estate. So that's how I now make a living in doing entrepreneurship, by doing and teaching real estate. So I'm a big believer in whatever you have put your heart, soul, your education into, you can ultimately create a business from that. I don't care what it is. It doesn't matter what it is. Now, we're not going to sit here and say, all right, you 5'2", you was great at basketball in high school and college, and you still trying to get to the NBA. Like those type of things, it's a wrap. Like it's pretty much a wrap. That's probably not going to happen. Now, you might be great at, now we can turn what you have put your effort into all your life to coaching basketball. You could be an amazing basketball coach. You got to look at it a different way. Most people, again, man, they die without even knowing what their passions was. I do think we always given a gift from God. A lot of people, they don't know what their gifts are. But this is what I would tell those people. Why do most people come to you? What do most people come to you when they ask for your help with? Maybe you're great with numbers, right? And you got this gift with numbers and you can calculate really fast, whatever the case may be. Just try to figure out, why do people always contact you? Like, what are they contacting you for? Some type of counseling? For me, it was real estate. Everybody who wanted to do some type of real estate, they came to me. And then ultimately, I'm like, you know what? I don't got to be a genius to understand that, all right, this is my calling right now. This is what I'm supposed to be doing, real estate. Doing real estate and teaching real estate. So following your passion might not be the best way to go. And a lot of times, a lot of people's passions don't pay. You know what I mean? If that makes sense. You definitely want to put the work into something that's actually going to be worth doing. Like, I'm not doing something for 10 years and it's paying you $30,000 a year. Because ultimately, man, it's pretty hard to live off of that. So I hope this video helped y'all. Like and subscribe, please. And I'll see y'all in the next one, man. Let's get it.